Hello, and welcome to OnSurviving. My name is Meagan, and I'm a survivor. Together, my partner Nobly and I are bringing OnSurviving to the world because it matters. It matters to me because I want others to recognize the deep strength and rich humanity involved in every step of the process of surviving the tragedies life brings many of us. I suffered silently and alone for too long, and I want to help others to find hope more quickly and readily and feel and be less alone in the process of surviving. OnSurviving matters. You matter. We matter. So, in today's likely very short episode of OnSurviving, I'm bringing just me to you today. Nobly is on vacation, and I didn't want to wait to share what I'm feeling and thinking today. Today is my 11-year-old daughter's angel date. It is the 18th anniversary of the day she died in a freak accident during our annual family float on the Yakima River. Before I go further, I want to remind you to take care of yourself if listening to this causes your own pain to flare up. Maybe try listening with a friend or another loved one. Of course, if you're listening on your own and feel overwhelmed at any point, and you could use the comfort of another person but don't know who to turn to, I encourage you to call 988. That's the National Crisis Line in the United States, and it is free for everyone to access at any time. I know the people on the other side of that number helped to carry me through my very darkest days. And I hope it can be a resource for you too, if you need it. Please remember, you never have to be alone. Okay. So with that, I am noticing several things that I want to share, especially for others who are also struggling to survive the passing of their children or other loved ones, because I have finally found hope and peace, and I wish that for you too. The fact that it has been 18 years since the accident that took my daughter's life is significant to me. It has been a long road, yes. As long as the journey from birth to the beginning of adulthood. And the learning curve has been equally steep for me. I had to recreate my life and my sense of self. And I dug my heels in and tried to do that on my own for many of those years, too many of those years. Probably as a result of that, plus the absence of the sense of hope for the future that comes more naturally in early life, for many of us anyway, I ended up stumbling and I fell even harder than I did when finding my way as a child and a teenager. But today, I am distinctly aware of three truths for me. And these are what I want to share today. The first two may not seem particularly hopeful at first, but please stick with me. I do see the hope in them. So, number one, I am sitting here right now with a tightness in my chest. I'm having a little struggle breathing in fully. And there's a tingling or a kind of crawling sensation in my skin. And I've been lightheaded off and on through the morning. This is the trauma my body remembers, or the remnants of that trauma. It started coming on again last night when I was trying to get to sleep. Even though I felt then and do feel now more at peace about this day this year. I don't know if this will ever go away, but I am grateful that it's not a full blown panic attack. And even if it does become one at some point today, I now know what it is and how to manage it. I also know it won't last forever and that it now occupies much less of my life than it once did. I am so grateful for that. I'm okay too if it shows up from time to time, or I should say, as it shows up from time to time. It is truthful. And for me, that being truthful with myself and others is an important part of my being able to live fully, beautifully, hopefully now. I am deeply grateful too for the people in my life, both personally and in my work life, who support me in giving myself the time and space and love I need to move forward through it and not try to run away from it, because running away from it, well, there just isn't any running away from it. It's all integrating it. Is how I move forward. I learned to live with it and not in spite of it or against it. So, secondly, I am distinctly aware of the ache of missing my little girl. That ache is always with me, somewhere below the surface, sometimes really deep below the surface. When you hear me full belly laughing, yeah, it's probably pretty far down, but it's there and I know that it is. Sometimes it rears its head unexpectedly. That happens less and less now, much less than it did years ago. And on days like this, I welcome it to the surface. My grief at not being able to my grief at not being able to hold my daughter's hand, to watch the joy on her face. She discovers all the wonderful new things she discovers in this life, or discovered in this life. To talk to her and hear her voice answer back, to watch her grow, to witness her life as an adult. All of that grief is inseparable from my love for her. That is a fact. And I am okay with this too. I am deeply grateful to have a new relationship with her now. And now that I'm not fighting the grief, I can close my eyes and see her clearly. And I can feel her with me always. I feel deeply connected to her. And this is the much more powerful part of my love for her, much more powerful than the grief. I am so glad I held on through my darkest days. I'm so glad I could get to this. Which brings me to the third thing that I wanted to share today. I feel whole as me on my own, perhaps for the first time in my life. This is something I may not have reached if Jasmine had survived that accident 18 years ago. I had been moving through life since childhood, since I was actually Jasmine's age when she died. I was with a coat of armor that kept me at some distance from everyone, except for maybe Jasmine. It definitely kept me from me, and it kept me from any semblance of a spiritual life. After Jasmine died, I don't know how to describe what that turned into exactly. I guess it's as if the armor was still there, but it became irrelevant. Everything just went dark, and I was barely more than a ghost of myself at worst. Or I clambered around in it trying to find my way at my best. So a few years ago, though, someone came into my life who helped me to open up a path toward actual healing. It was a slow process, but over time, that armor definitely showed up again, and I definitely struggled with it. I also began to win my battle with it. I poked holes in it, enough for my soul to breathe and for me to see beyond it. There, only recently can I name this, even since we started this OnSurviving project. I found God as I understand God, the universe, the divine. I feel a connection there. I feel it inside myself. And I feel a much deeper connection with myself as a result. I feel a much deeper connection with Jasmine and other loved ones who've passed, like my grandmother and my dear friend Kate, who I greet every morning along with Jasmine. I even feel a greater connection with other people in my life who have not passed yet, family, friends, colleagues, even strangers sometimes. I know that I, if I was sitting in your shoes, I probably would be recoiling at hearing this if I was hearing this from someone several years ago. I could never imagine saying it myself. I probably made fun of people saying similar things, but I have to say it now because it's true. I feel a part of this universe. I believe we all are, whether in our bodies walking around on this earth or past. And there is only to let down our armor to connect with it. And now, because I have done that, I can see my whole true self and feel content in it. I feel my feet on the ground, and I am aware of the infinite possibilities from here on out, all around, all around me, all around all of us. And I am confident that I will find my way through all of them, no matter what. And that I can do so with peace, love, and grace in my heart. So, with that, I want to say that if you are struggling with an angel date or other trauma in your life, please stick with it. I remember when my sense of desperation and darkness felt like forever, but it wasn't. Another truth. I found my way forward. Your path will probably look different than mine, but I am confident there is a way forward for you too, one that will fill you with the same kind of hope that fills me today. So, with that, I will sign off for today in this very short OnSurviving moment and get back to my plans to meditate on Jasmine and care for myself, which are the basics of how I have come to find comfort in these angel dates. So, one step at a time, and drink plenty of water too. Cheers. We'll find our way.